Christian Soccer, as we'll have our first broadcast from Greg Zonefeld, the ex-coach and now announcer for CWC Soccer, coming up next week, and we'll talk about that. And Greg is here tonight, so we'll mention a few things about him and the new coach that they have for the soccer team. And the Randolph Rockets, also another school that has still decided to play their fall sports, and a lot of the other schools all in their conference all going to play. We plan on doing all 7 football games for the Randolph Rockets beginning next week, Friday night. So we'll talk about the Randolph Rocket football team, and also a pretty promising up-and-coming volleyball team over in Randolph, too. A lot of height, a lot of youth on the team, and some good senior leadership, too, on that team. Very deep team, and a very involved team in volleyball. A lot of people going up for volleyball over at Randolph High School. We'll be talking about that. We'll have some of their games also here in our fall sports broadcast schedule. But it's tonight, girls volleyball right here at the West Gym at Central Wisconsin Christian School, and they're taking on their conference foe, the Warriors of Valley Christian. A little bit different feel here. We'll talk about some of the things that they're doing because of the COVID-19 thing, and some of the rules they have in play in the conference, and some of the difficulties that they had to kind of have to face when they're having a couple teams play inside a gym, and referees here that want to blow their whistles. Got to think about that stuff too. So I talked to them before they had to go up and do their job too with the referees. But all that's coming up as the Home and Auto Sales pregame show continues live from Central Wisconsin Christian School in Waupun. Back after this on your source for sports.
Some great deals awaited.
Dr. Dudley, Dr. Clark, and Dr. Don City of Optivision Eye Care are experts in cataract surgery, and they have 2 very important recommendations for you. First, choose the Symphony Lens Implant for sharp, colorful vision in all 3 zones, near, far, and in between. Secondly, upgrade to a laser cataract procedure for an even higher level of safety and precision. Schedule your cataract appointment with Dr. Dudley, Dr. Don City, or Dr. Clark today. Call Optivision at 1-800-20-HAPPY for the best in cataract surgery.
Signature Homes was founded about 25 years ago. Shortly after we started our real estate business, we realized there was a need for new construction. So many times we're out showing property to buyers and they aren't finding what they're looking for. And if we can't find them what they're looking for, we need to have another option. And so we started to customize homes and really make them specific to the customer's needs. That model has grown over the years. We started with building just a few homes, and now we're building 30, 35 homes a year. We have showrooms in all of our locations. If you just want to walk in and learn more about our building company, we can do that.
Anders Auto Parts is the place to go for quality auto parts and paint. Anders has been serving the Fond du Lac area with automotive parts and paints since 1956. Anders features PPG automotive and industrial paints, quality auto parts, along with an experienced, knowledgeable staff to serve you. Anders is located at 16 West Sibley Street, just off North Main Street behind the American Family Office. Call those who know. Call 20-922-3390.
Conference. There's some rules. They want everybody inside the gym.
up. I probably sound a little more muffled than I normally would during the game. And I got
mostly, it looks like, and the players themselves, their seats are sitting about 6 feet apart. They've got a row of about 3 or 4, and another row right behind that of about 4 or 5 seats, and that's where the players sit. So even they're separated, and when they're on the bench, they're supposed to be wearing a mask. Inside here, the announcer's wearing one. The PA announcer here is wearing a mask right now, and they actually talked to the referees before the match, and they mentioned that for the match here tonight that they'll have their mask on. The down ref has their mask on, the one that's on the floor, but with the one that is up on the ladder, the up ref that kind of gets the whole match going and signals with a whistle, does not have to wear a mask because he's kind of far away enough from everybody, being about 4 feet up in the air and way up to one end of the court, so he's not nearly near anybody. And they're told too, if you're going to talk to the referee, don't get right close up to him either. But that's kind of how they're doing it. They've got a whistle that he'll be able to use up there. Doesn't have to try to cut a hole in his mask or something, which would make that kind of a null and void mask. But yeah, it's a different time here. 2020, what a crazy year. But they are playing sports here where most schools aren't, but Christian School is playing along with a lot of the teams in the conference and these smaller schools, and we'll see how this works. I'm going to try to be as safe as I can when I go to the places too. It is Central Wisconsin Christian, the Crusaders, taking on the Warriors of Valley Christian, and we'll talk a little bit about both of the teams coming up in just a few minutes as the national, as the Home and Auto Sales pregame show continues here on your source for sports.
American Family Insurance.
Your family depends on you. That's why
another
you work
3
hard
minutes
to
here,
make
another 3.
Anders Auto Parts is the place to go for quality auto parts and paint. Anders has been serving the Fond du Lac area with automotive parts and paints since 1956. Anders features PPG automotive and industrial paints, quality auto parts, along with an experienced, knowledgeable staff to serve you. Anders is located at 16 West Sibley Street, just off North Main Street behind the American Family Office. Call those who know. Call Anders Auto Parts at 920-922-3390.
At Marian University, we give 100%. It's who we are. From providing an encouraging word to going the extra mile, it's what we do. Marian University's faculty work by your side, providing support beyond office hours. Mentors guide and inspire a giving spirit. Because right now and every day, we work for our tomorrow. Be successful, give, and get 100% at Marian University. Apply today.
Team on top of the game for screen printing, custom awards, signage, and embroidery is Hoppers. Hoppers Silk Screen and All-Star Trophy, located in the heart of Fond du Lac, can custom print to 1 shirt or 1,000. Pick from Under Armour, Gildan, Nike, and more. Choose your school for a custom one-of-a-kind look. Need banners, signage, or vehicle wrap? The team at Hoppers does it all. Hoppers Silk Screen and All-Star Trophy at the corner of Main and Merrill, Fond du Lac. Get more now at hopperware.com. That's hopperware.com.
Do my outside chores much better and enjoy my grandchildren. They're very thorough at going over everything, explaining and showing you. Very simple, very quick, and not painful at all. I would definitely recommend New Med.
New Medical Center, 160 Gateway Drive, with 5PNHiStore.com. You can manage your equipment at any time.
Check one.
Just search genuine New Holland parts by category, model, or part number, and keep your equipment running efficiently. Get genuine New Holland part and don't have time to wait? Visit mycnhiStore.com and get it done faster. Wapont Equipment Company, Wapont and Watertown. Log on wapontequipment.com and like them on Facebook. This broadcast is brought to you in part by W&D Novice, a family-owned business operating in the Wapont area for over 60 years. Third generation is very involved in the running of the business. W&D Novice is a commercial industrial business specializing in convenience stores, fast food restaurants, auto parts stores, and apartment complex, along with a landscape lot division. No job is too big for the professionals at W&D Novice Wapont, a proud longtime supporter of Christian education and the Central Wisconsin Christian Athletic Program.
Welcome back to Waupun Central Wisconsin Christian School. Steve Witterhack with you to bring you some girls volleyball. Crusaders from Central Wisconsin Christian taking on the Warriors of Valley Christian. I think both coaches for both the teams back for Central Wisconsin Christian, Dan Tenaple, been coaching the team since 07 when he first came over and taught here at CWC, and then he took a couple years off to do some military responsibilities, even moved his family out of the area too as he helped serve our country. Want to thank him for that. They took last year off even though he was back and had in the reins of Abby Vree, who's the JV coach and assistant varsity coach. But Dan Tenaple back at the helm again of Central Wisconsin Christian Volleyball, and he said he's got a team with a lot of promise. We're not real big, we're not very experienced. He's got a lot of underclassmen out there. There are 5 or 6 seniors on the team, but many of those not starters, and a lot of the key players are also some younger players. So he's going to depend on them and watch their progression and growth throughout the year. And he thinks that they're going to be maybe better than they were last year defensively. It's going to be a pretty solid team on keeping the ball alive and putting the block up and making teams get out of system. So he thinks defensively they're probably better than last year, and he says we need a little ways to go yet offensively and being able to put the ball away on passing. And he hopes to see a lot of improvement on that, but he really feels that his team is going to be a much better team as this season goes along. And this is the first match here tonight for both teams. So we'll see how good they are taking on their first real opponent. I know they've had some scrimmages against other teams, but just their first actual match here right in conference play. As far as the head coach for the Valley Christian Warriors, Lizzie Potratch, he says her team pretty much the same thing. They've only got one senior on the team, and she's not even a starter on the team. They've got a lot of young players, a lot of sophomores in the starting lineup, a few freshmen sprinkled in too, so very young team. And she says, I think we're going to be a very good team maybe in a year or so when these players get the experience and they end up just getting better and more mature as these years go on. But you've got a few freshmen right in the starting lineup, so that makes things a little more interesting. But she thinks down the road that they could be a pretty good team. These girls all kind of stick to it and keep on working on it, get better this season, do some off-season stuff, and Valley Christian could be a force to be reckoned with, she thought, maybe in a few years. Again, we're at Central Wisconsin Christian School. The Crusaders wrapping up their warm-ups right now. Valley Christian getting ready to head out in the court and do the same. And we're going to come back with more of our pregame show brought to you by Home and Auto Sales right after this on your source for sports. Another 3.
We've got an extremely strong board of directors that sets the tone for the organization as well as independent ownership. Very unique for an organization of our size to really be owned by one family.
As the bank grew, our lending limits grew, and so we were able to address a lot of the needs of companies, newer companies. I would say we focused more on smaller family-owned businesses at that time. I would say a strong balance sheet benefits everyone, and it's not just in a bank. It's what we've recommended customers. I think if everyone has that philosophy, they'll endure over a longer period of time. We have to have the foresight to get our customers through tough times, and all of these things are challenging because we're able to do it.
We have a strong commitment to the success of our customers and build long-term relationships. We earn our customers' trust each and every day. It is our culture, and it starts at the top with strong leadership.
So we at National Exchange Bank and Trust have the size to be able to serve all of the needs of our customers. It's very unique to be able to do that, yet maintain the community bank image and culture.
Well,
certified paint gets you boneless roast and $3.99 per pound. Country Delight butter, $1.99 per package. Limit of food with your card. Even more great deals.
And Steve is with us here. He's a patient at New Medical Center of Waupun. Steve, explain what you had done at New Medical Center.
Well, at New Medical Center, I had a stem cell shot in my left knee, and from then on, it's just been great all the way. I know several people that have had them. I've talked to them, and everybody's happy. I could hardly walk before. Now I can, as far as my knees go and everything, everything's good. You know, you do have a little therapy afterwards, but that's just because you've been walking so goofy for so long. You need to, get your stuff straightened out. But as far as the pain, I was doing very well. I love the staff at the medical center. Everyone's so helpful. You're friendly, accommodating.
Welcome back to the West Gym, the newer gym. It's a few years under its belt, though. Maybe about the third or fourth year that they've had the gym over at Christian School. Great job doing what they did to build this school into just one building for the entire student body, all the way from kindergarten, 4K, all the way up to seniors. All share the same beautiful complex here. And when they pull together and build things like they do here, and people financially help out, they've got people that have some skills that can do some of the work. And man, they really come together at Christian School, and they make good things happen. And they really made a beautiful school, and they just keep on doing it no matter what they do here. Very good support for Christian education in the city of Waupun. Now we've got some other broadcasts coming up. Next week we've got 3 that we're going to have for you on this radio station. Next week, Monday, I'll be over in Randolph and bring you some volleyball action. Now, I know a little bit about the volleyball team over in Randolph. I know they've got a lot of girls participating in the program. They've got a JV1, a JV2, and then the varsity, but they've got some a nice mix of some young players and some senior leadership on the court for Jeff Colbeck and his squad, and we'll be anxious to see how they are. A lot of height. I think they've got probably at least 3 girls that are 6 foot or above on the team, and a couple of those girls very, very skilled players and young that they'll have for a few years. But they'll be taking on their conference foe right down the road on Highway P, Cambria Friesland in that match, and that one we'll have for you Monday night. Next week at 7:30, I'll be doing the call on that. Coming up next Thursday, it'll be Central Wisconsin Christian Crusader Soccer, and they'll be taking on St. Lawrence Seminary. They'll be playing right here at Central Wisconsin Christian School. That game begins at 6 o'clock, and it'll be, well, not the debut of Greg Zonefeld. He's done some games for us before, but we don't have anybody that can really knowledgeably do a soccer match, and he was the soccer coach here at Christian School for 28 years, 24 of those as the head coach of the varsity team. And he stepped down last year. Very emotional for him to do that, but he said, I just got to kind of free up my time right now, which he did. And a very good run that he had for the soccer program here. But it's going to be great having somebody with radio experience and also 28 years experience as a coach, and I'm sure as a player, and his boys play too, and his daughter. So he's got a lot of experience as an announcer. He's going to bring a top quality coverage of Central Wisconsin Christian soccer, which we'll have for you on and off and on. But that's next week Thursday. St. Lawrence Seminary in town at Waupun taking on the Crusaders. That one begins at 6 o'clock, and then we begin our coverage of Randolph Rocket football. I know they've got some talented guys, really athletic team. They've got some big dudes out there too that have really been religious in the weight room for Randolph High School. So I'm looking forward to good things happening for them, and we are covering all 7 of their games throughout the season. So we're going to have their game against Johnson Creek coming up next week. Johnson Creek has had some good years as of late. Cambria Friesland will have their game against them, and that's always a great rivalry. I believe that's down the road first half of the season, but over at Cambria Friesland High School, we'll have that for you. Randy and I get us back out there doing games, seeing Waupun is not playing. That's what we normally would be doing this time of year, but it'll be fun to watch and see how the Randolph team progresses. You know, mostly known as a basketball town, but they've got some guys that are football first on that football team and have been putting a lot of time in the weight room. Big, strong kids, so that should be interesting to see how good Randolph can be this year. But we'll be at all of their games. 7 o'clock starts every Friday. I believe there might be a Saturday game sprinkled in there too for the Randolph Rockets. But we're going to have all 7 games, and we'll see what the postseason looks like. I'm not exactly sure. I think all teams are going to be going out to play some kind of postseason. There'll be a limited amount of teams that are actually playing ball and basketball, volleyball, soccer, all those teams. So we'll see who's actually playing, because there's a lot of schools around our listening area, most of them, as a matter of fact, that are not playing fall sports. Most of them are having in-school situations where they're playing, they're actually in school for their education, but not so much for the sports, and they decided to kind of put them off till spring, if that even happens for some teams. But kind of hope and cross our fingers that we can keep Christian School and Randolph and keep their games going and get them on the air, and we'll be glad to do that for you. right here on your source for sports. We're just a few minutes away from the big match here tonight. The kickoff for both teams. Central Wisconsin Christian, the Crusaders at home here in Waupun, taking on their conference foe, the Valley Christian Warriors, and we'll have the beginning of that coming your way in just a few minutes as the pre-game show continues, brought to you by Home and Auto Sales on your source for sports.
And Steve is with us here. He's a patient at New Medical Center of Waupun. Steve, explain what you had done at New Medical Center.
Well, at New Medical Center, I had a stem cell shot in my left knee, and from then on, it's just been great all the way. And I know several people that had that happen. I've talked to them, and everybody's happy. I could hardly walk before. Now I put my knees going, everything's good. You know, you do have a little therapy afterwards, but that's just because you've been walking so goofy for so long. You need to, get your stuff straightened out. But as far as the pain, I was doing very well. I love the
just
staff.
Playing commercials here. We got the national anthem, and they do a prayer.
Friendly, accommodating. I would recommend the Medical Center to anyone that has any problems, back, knees, hips, anything like that. With joints or anything, to go there because it can help you pain-free. I mean, the shot is painless, just kind of routine.
Call New Medical Center of Waupun today, 324-9899.
And more importantly, we want them to play all season long. Thank you for your cooperation and enjoy tonight's game. At this time, please stand as we have a word of prayer. Following our word of prayer, put your hands over your hearts as we honor America and the men and women in uniform at home and around the world with our national anthem. Shall we pray? Dear God, Heavenly Father, we thank you tonight for the gift of volleyball and the gift of being able to watch this sport. This time of COVID has reminded us of so many things that were so important to us that we couldn't do. And we're just grateful that tonight these girls can begin their season and play this game of volleyball. And that you give us the opportunity and the privilege to watch and enjoy the gifts and talents that you placed in them to play this game. Lord, we pray for those who are currently dealing with the effects of COVID in their own situations. We know, Lord, there are those who have lost their lives, those who are fighting for their lives right now, and we lift them up. We pray for an end to this pandemic. We know that you have all of this in your control. Thank you for the gift of education and Christ-centered learning at Valley Christian and Central Wisconsin Christian. We pray that you will protect our students and their families, enable them to learn in person throughout this year. And we honor and glorify you tonight through all that we do. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Okay, we can come back.
Just a reminder, fans, coming up on Saturday, the girls will be back home for a triangular as Amro and Marquezan come to Crusader Gym. Play will begin at 10 a.m. Crusader girls will play the first match. And
different starting lineup than they would normally have on the court for Danza Naples squad. So you're going to see seniors out on the court like Rachel Grieve will be out there, the 5'4" defensive specialist. Also Belle Grieve, defensive specialist, 5'3" senior. Jenna Haringa, she is a senior, right side hitter, 5'7". And Jolie Scouten is a 5'7" senior. Abby Bartelt, or Bartlett, I should say, a 5'8" senior in the starting lineup. So they got 5 seniors, and they're going to have 1 junior out there. Madison Zolke will be on the court as we get things going here tonight. And Caitlin Vanderwerf, their setter, is going to be playing. She's only a sophomore, but she was a setter most of last year, or at least shared the duties with that, and she'll be out on the court. Their normal starting lineup would be setter Caitlin Vanderwerf, middle blockers of Abby Bartelt, Ada Smith, and Elise Ritzma. And outside hitters, Jolie Scouten and Shelby Bawalda. Also right side hitter, Jenna Haringa. That's their normal starting lineup they have for Central Wisconsin Christian. For Valley Christian, we'll get some pronunciations on some of the names that we are going to hear tonight. They play a 6-2 offense, so they've got a couple of setters. And you're going to hear Allison Deering. She's just a freshman doing some setting duties. And also a junior, Cameron Haas, in that setting position. Their middle hitters, Josie Matias. There's one of those that I had definitely phonetically spelled that one out. Alex Zilicki is also just a freshman, but is a middle hitter for the Valley Christian Warriors. Outside hitters are Grace Ralston, a sophomore. Stella Wright, she is a freshman. And right side hitter, Anna Giannopoulos. She is a freshman. Libero is Katie Wallace. She is just a freshman. That is the starting lineup for the Warriors of Valley Christian. Not a bad crowd here. I was kind of sitting in my own whole section there, but I had to kind of move over to go by the video equipment because we do have this streaming live. You know, why not? Go to the computer. You can both hear my broadcast and you can also watch it streaming live on your computer at radioplusinfo.com. Just go onto there. You know, kind of guide you right to this game that we have here tonight. We've got 2 cameras, one right at half court and one more towards the door when you first come in here in the gym on the east side of the gym. Kind of a cross little open look over the overall gym. So we have a great video, great quality, unbelievable. We've had nothing but great comments over these last few years about the quality of the video that we bring you. We've had some unbelievable games. The games that I've got to do for Waupun boys basketball were just amazing. The quality and nothing but compliments for everybody that got to watch it. So we are set to go. I know the referees checking out the lineup for both teams to make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be, according to what they were told and checked in. You got to have it right once you check in. You can get a little hot water if you don't have everything kind of in the right spot. It's going to be early season even for the referees. They just have one that's up on the ladder, then one that's down across the court from the up referee. We are set to go here at Central Wisconsin Christian. Our first game of the fall season. Steve Witterhack with you here at Central Wisconsin Christian School in Waupun. The Crusaders taking on the Warriors of Valley Christian. And the Warriors will serve first. Back to serve. Cameron Haas. She's doing her studying duties as she is in the back throw. Our low line drive serve. It's passed over to Vanderwerf, middle attack, and that is a little long on the swing by Abby Bartlett. Senior hit it middle back, but just a few feet too long, and first point going to Valley Christian. Another serve for Haas. And Wolf gets the set. The middle attack that is dug out by their libero, Katie Wallace, and the left side attack dug out by the Crusaders. Going to go back to the left side. Nice hit. Right down the line. Big swing by the Crusaders' Jolie Scout. Just took it right down the line, about 15 feet off the net, and pounded it down for a point for the Crusaders. Their first point of the season. We're all knotted up at 1 apiece on your new Medical Center scoreboard. Serve receive over on the Valley Christian side. It's going to be a free ball, just bumped over on the third hit. Crusaders with it. Vanderwerf's going to bump it all the way over on the left-hand side. Have a left-handed hit on the swing by Scout, but kept alive by the Warriors. Pushed over by Vanderwerf on the second hit. Pass up front. They get it over to Haas, and a swing from the left side goes a little long in the court swing by number 7, Grace Ralston. Pretty good setup there, but don't have any height in there, but she's very short for a left side hitter. Just hits it cross court, but a few feet deep. Now Jenna Herringa is serving. Rivero gets it up, and it's close to the net, and punched over on the last hit by Galecki. Right side attack, kind of as she's coming back down on the swing by Bartlett, but kept alive by the Crusaders. They just bumped it over on the third hit. Vanderwerf gets it over on the left side, and pass off the blocker for a hit, but doesn't matter. On the swing on the left side by the Crusaders, Jolie Scouten. Not clear of the net, and point going to Valley Christian. We're all tied up at 2 apiece. Back to serve, Grace Ralston. Kind of high up the arms, not a good pass, and this will be a kind of a free ball in the middle, but good job making something of it. It was kind of coming over her shoulder straight behind her from the back row. On the setup there from the back row, and Abby Bartlett just kind of takes it, finds the middle of the court open, and gets a point for the Crusaders. Shelby Walda checking in now for Central Wisconsin Christian. And sitting down will be Rachel Reed. Shelby out of the basketball court too these last few years for the Crusaders. Jump serve, a nice serve off the hands of Jolie Scout. Jump serve from the middle back, and just kind of a rocket that dives towards the back of the line off the arms of one of the Warrior players, and out of bounds is the point for Central Wisconsin Christian. They open up a 2-point lead, up 4-2. Reminder, you play up to 25 points in the first 4 sets. They don't call them games, they call them sets. Ball is bumped over by Haas. In the back row by Scouten. Outside attack now by Walda down the line, kept alive by Haas, and just tapped over on the second hit. Vanderwerf goes to the middle over to Bartlett. Not much on that one, kept alive by Valley Christian, goes down the line with it behind the antenna. She was just off the court a little bit on the left side, and tried to go down the line with it, but behind the antenna. It is out of bounds. Another point going to Central Wisconsin Christian, opening up a 5-2 lead. Out with another serve, jump serve, but that one goes right into the middle of the net. That is a point for Valley Christian. Again, rally scoring. There's a point on every serve. It used to be just when you serve you got a point, but now that's been gone for quite a while now, probably a good 17, 18 years that they've been playing rally scoring. Serve into the net by Katie Wallace, the freshman. Point going to the Crusaders, now leading 6-2. The height coming on the court now with Ada Smith, 6-foot sophomore. Middle blocker checking in the game and replacing Belbree. Back to serve is Bartlett, and hits it into the middle of the net. And that is a point for Valley Christian. They're back within 2 at 6-4 now in favor of Central Wisconsin Christian. Served by Giannopoulos. Nice diving save by Scouten. And gets bumped over by Vanderwerf on the third hit. Set way over on the far left side off the hit of a right, but dug out by the Crusaders, just tapped over. They couldn't quite control and get it up to their setter Vanderwerf. Another pass over on the left side and a hit by right, not much on it. Controlled by the Crusaders, and a left side swing by Shelby Bawalda off the serve of Vanderwerf. And she launches it quite a few feet out of bounds on her cross-court attempt. So Valley Christian back within a point, 6-5 now in favor of the Crusaders. Another serve for Giannopoulos. Next serve goes into the net, point for the Crusaders. Back up by 2, 7-5 on your new Medical Center and Waupun Chiropractic scoreboard. Crusaders with the volleyball back in their hands. Vanderwerf back to serve. Ball passed up, good pass this time, and just tapped over, but it's going to be shot out of bounds off the swing by Chelsea Batiash. A great set. She was kind of flat-footed, punched it over to the left, but went out of bounds by a few feet. Point for the Crusaders. Another serve for Vanderwerf. Pass again, kept alive. A nice diving attempt by Deering. Allison Deering now the setter, freshman, and she dives along the line but ends up going over the line and gets called for the violation. That is a point for the Crusaders. Crusaders on a run now, opening up a 4-point lead, leading 9-5. Kind of a knuckleball on this one, and they get it up to Deering. Left side attack. And a good swing by Haas, but kept it alive. Good job by Scout to keep the ball alive, and eventually the Crusaders get it over off the hands of Bawalda. And she just taps one right off the net, about 8 feet, right in the middle of the court. That's the point for the Crusaders, now leading 10-5 in the new medical center and Waupun Chiropractic scoreboard. Crusaders on a roll right now. Ball just bumped over on the third hit by the Warriors. Going to go left side over to Bawalda. Kind of a swing and a miss on that one. Maybe got a little bit of the ball, but had a big approach towards the net and ended up barely catching any of the balls. That is a point for the Warriors. That will bring Stella right back to serve. Ball set over on the right side, pushed over by Bawalda. Heads over to the left side to do her hitting over there. Some passing problems for Valley Christian to really have a chance to put one down. Nice diving save by Stella Wright. And a nice hard hit in the middle by the Crusaders' Ada Smeets. Good swing at it, but just a better dig by Stella Wright to keep it alive, and then the Crusaders end up hitting it out of bounds. 10-7 in favor of the Crusaders. Back throw attack, and that is by Scout. Doesn't pull anything off of that one. She just hits it hard, but hits it well out of bounds. And Valley Christian with another point. Getting back into this first set, only trailing 10-8. Another serve for Stella Wright. Tight to the net for Vanderbilt. Backside over to Bawalda, goes up and puts it down almost the exact middle of the court. Cross court right by that right antenna and puts it away for the kill. Crusaders now leading 11-8 here in set number 1. And you got to win 3 sets. If you have to play a 5th and decider, you only play up to 15 in that. Still got to win by 2. So it's going to be pretty dicey affairs and pretty exciting in that 5th set. Ball set out to the left side of the Scout, and boy, she really cut the angle on that one. She was way by the antenna on the left side, tight to the net, and cut it all the way to the other side of the court, right by the 10-foot line and the sideline across the court. Nice shot there by Central Wisconsin Christian goalie Scout. Bawalda with the serve. Right, couldn't handle it, kind of pops it up. Nice attempt to try to keep the ball alive by Deering, but off her hands out of bounds into the crowd. That's a point for the Crusaders. Serve for Shelby Bawalda with the Crusaders leading 13-8. We've got a timeout on the court, and we'll be back in 30 seconds with more Crusader volleyball on your source for sports.
Field of interest. We combine academics with on-the-job training as well as hands-on learning because we're not just looking to guide you here. We're looking to help guide you well after you've graduated onto a rewarding career. Apply for fall, marionuniversity.edu/apply.
We're back at Central Wisconsin Christian School. Timeout taken on the court by Valley Christian. 13-8 the lead for Central Wisconsin Christian School over the visiting Warriors. Again, you played a 25 here in the first 4 sets if you need them. And 3 sets to win the match. They're just coming back out on the court, but the Crusaders right now with more opportunities, getting some good swings at the ball. Passing a little sketchy right now for the Warriors, and that's a big problem. You can't get the ball up to those setters up there. Then they have trouble getting a nice pass for a good swing for the rest of the team. Shelby Bawalda still serving now for the Crusaders. Goes to the middle back. That's popped in the air by Wallace. And kind of a chunked up hit, double hit called by the up referee on Allison Deering, the freshman. And just you can tell that one a mile away, just not right with that hit, so they got called for the double contact. Bawalda, the freshman, just barely clearing the net. Just a laser beam goes over and goes right at Grace Ralston, but all she could do is just try to get an arm on it, and the shot right off her arm and out of bounds. Nice serve there by Shelby Bawalda, putting a little heat on that one. Just barely clearing the net on the serve for Bawalda. kind of going at their libero right now. Katie Wallace right at her in that back left corner. Pop it back in the air to one of her teammates. Another very offensive serve there by Central Wisconsin Christian. Wallace continues to serve. That one dives right over the top of the net. That thing just got to the top of the net, just took a dive. And another missed opportunity to pass the ball up to the front row by the Warriors, and a point going to Central Wisconsin Christian. Now leading 17-8 by 9 here in set number 1. Walda continues to serve and continues to just hit laser beams over and again. They cannot handle her serve right now. We'll see if Coach Lizzie Potratz is going to adjust anything. Sometimes it kind of gets in your head that you can't pop it up. They might take somebody off the bench and put them out there. 10-point lead now for the Crusaders, leading 18-8. That one catches the net. A left serve crawls over and falls about 7 feet off the net, right in the middle. Then going the way of the Crusaders. And we have got a timeout on the court. We'll be back in a minute with more Crusader volleyball on your source for sports.
Come and grow with Burke. We are a company on the move and are looking for great people that want to grow with us. Hi, I'm Mike Phelan, President and CEO at Burke, a local company that creates quality and innovative playground equipment. Our team maintains a culture of enthusiasm, innovation, and customer service. We are currently looking for full-time first and third shift manufacturing employees. Burke offers a competitive wage and benefits package, on-the-job training, and a signing bonus. Learn more about our open positions at bciburke.com. That's bciburke.com.
We're back here at Central Wisconsin Christian School. Mishandled ball and a ball hit out of bounds deep off the arms of Valley Christian, and another point going to the Crusaders, now opening up a 12-point lead, leading 20-8 here in set number 1. And Shelby Buwalda, the rocket serve continues. It looks like the rest of the team trying to tell their back row player Allison Deering was going to be out. She hit it anyway and then hit it into the net. It was on the floor. Point going to the Crusaders. I think it was kind of floating at the end, might have been a foot or so out of bounds. It will help. The ball in and giving the point to the Crusaders. Little dump shot of the second hit. Nice diving save attempt by the Crusaders. Caitlin Vanderwerf kind of crossed the court, goes off her arms, but just barely goes out of bounds. Nice try. Keeps the ball up, and a nice dump shot by Cameron Haas. So gets the kill and a point for her team. Crusaders now leading 21-9. Well in control here in set number 1. Warriors with the serve. This one is barely clearing the net. Vanderwerf pops it up, and is going to tap it over, and it's going to be a throw on the attempt by Jenna Herringa to try to save it from over her shoulder, scored out of bounds on the right side. Vanderwerf was taken out of the equation right away, and the ball barely cleared the net, went right at her. Another serve for Valley Christian, Josie Macias. Outside attack by Scout, always gets her money's worth, and takes a nice swing cross court off the arms of a few of the Warrior players, and finally goes down. Nice swing and a kill for Jolie Scout. The Crusaders now leading 22-10. Bell Reed checks in and sitting down will be Ada Smith. Also checking in for CWC, Abby Bartlett. And sitting down, Megan Greenfield. So Reed goes for the jump serve and hits it right into the middle of the net. That is a point for the Warriors. They're in trouble here in set number 1, trailing Central Wisconsin Christian 22-11. Giannopoulos coming into the match now to go across the front row, and checking out will be freshman Allison Deering. Goes in as he's up towards the front to do some setting. Hard serve there by Haas, and Crusaders can't control it. Got a shot off the arms of one of the Crusader players, and then they kind of chased it towards the bleachers, but couldn't control. And that is a point for the Warriors. And when Haas with a nice serve to set that up. Serve from the junior. Right at Scout, gets the ball over to Vanderwerf, and a middle attack by Bartlett. Controlled, Haas goes left side with it over to Ralston, middle back. Reed gets the ball, pass up front, and set over to Scout, and that is controlled, and now we got a player in the net for the Warriors, or that is Alex Zalicki in the net, gets called for that. And a point going to the Crusaders, now just 2 points away from a set number 1 victory, leading 23-12. Good pass this time. Haas is going to go left side over to Giannopoulos. And we've got, she took a swing, she didn't get it over, then they popped it over on the next hit, gets called for 4 contact. You only get 3. And now set number 1 point for the Crusaders, leading 24-12. Served by Herringa, dug out. Giannopoulos tight to the net, blocked back over on the Warriors side, then popped back over to the Crusaders. And a good job by Bartlett to go up as the ball was right above the net, just taps it softly off to her left and puts it down for the kill. And the first set going to the Crusaders, winning the first set 25-12. Going to take about 2.5 minute break and come back with the second set live from Christian School here on your source for sports.
Alternative sports junkie and champion sturgeon wrestler. I do a lot of crazy things. So when I apply for a loan, it needs to be easy. That's why I choose Fond du Lac Credit Union.
Apply online with Fond du Lac Credit Union.
Need help?
Experience the unique taste of authentic Italian cuisine at Gino's Italian Restaurant in Fond du Lac. Made from scratch Italian gourmet pasta dishes, Chicago-style pizza, or if you're just out for a burger, Gino's Italian has American choices too. Sundays and Mondays at Gino's, dine in and enjoy half-price pizzas. Stop in after the game for a beverage and a quick bite to eat. Gino's Italian, East Johnson, next to Shopko. Casual, relaxing, and what a great place to be.
Anders Auto Parts is the place to go for quality auto parts and paint. Anders has been serving the Fond du Lac area with automotive parts and paints since 1956. Anders features PPG automotive and industrial paints, quality auto parts, along with an experienced, knowledgeable staff to serve you. Anders is located at 16 West Sibley Street, just off North Main Street behind the American Family Office. Call those who know. Call Anders Auto Parts at 920-922-3390.
At Marian University, we give 100%. It's who we are. From providing an encouraging word to going the extra mile, it's what we do. Marian University's faculty work by your side, providing support beyond office hours, mentors guide, and inspire a giving spirit. Because right now and every day, we work for our tomorrow. Be successful, give, and get 100% at Marian University. Apply today.
And we are all set to go here in the second set, as Central Wisconsin wins the first set by a score of 25-12. Well, fairly close the first set until it was about 11-8, and then Shelby Mewalda went back to serve, and Mancini's went on a tear. where that serve became offense, and they scored a lot of points because they could not control the ball over on the Valley Christian side, and she ran off a bunch of points, and by the time she was done serving, Central Wisconsin Christian had 21 points, up 21-8 at that time, and then went on to win 25-12. We're ready to go here in set number 2 with Caitlin Vanderwerf. Serving first for the Crusaders. Ball bumped over the net on the first hit right away. Bawal to control, gets it to Vanderwerf. Middle attack, left-handed swing there by Ritzma. That's Elise Ritzma at the net, goes up with that left hand. That kind of throws you off a little bit if you throw a lefty in there. She just goes down strong with that left hand and gets the kill. And Crusaders draw first blood here in set number 2, leading 1-0. Another serve for Vanderwerf. Nice hard low line driver pass up by Wallace. Attack by Alex Zalicki, dug out by the Crusaders. And that's a little falling and fading away tap shot by their middle blocker for the Crusaders. Ada Smith just kind of backpedaling about 5 feet off the net. Just got enough of the ball to get it over the net and found a wide open spot 10 feet off the net. Another point for the Crusaders, leading 2-0. Vanderwerf with another serve. Again, going right at Katie Wallace, the libero. Tapped over and controlled by the Crusaders, going left side over to Bawalda. Loops the shot cross court from that left antenna. But that one a little long by a couple of feet. And a point going to the Warriors. Now Crusaders leading 2-1. We're bringing you the game from the National Exchange Bank and Trust broadcast booth, which normally is way on one end of the court, way in the west and north corner of the court. Well, the taps it over, the third hits on the right side. And then the ball is hit on the other side of the antenna over to Stella Wright, and all she could do is just kind of tap it and went behind the antenna, and that is out of bounds, and a point for the Crusaders, leading 3-1. Let's see if we can keep the hot serving by Shelby Bawalda. This time the exact opposite happens. Catches the tape, is not clear. That is a point for Valley Christian. They trail the Crusaders by a score of 3-2. Arm was probably a little tired, probably needed the ice down after that first set. There's 10 points in a row for the Crusaders. And Wallace, the libero, with the serve. Nice hard low line drive serve, and a lift called on the Crusaders with Vanderwerf getting over there, but getting called for a carry, trying to get the ball out to the left side. Not a great pass. Now put her in a rough spot. Serve with libero Katie Wallace, and goes right down the line, and well, now she's starting to feel a little bit, the freshman. Big smile on her face, puts her right down the right side, right at Scouten over there, and off her arms and out of bounds. Well, serving by the freshman Katie Wallace. Crusaders now, I should say the Warriors now leading 4-3. Left side attack, and that one is going to be out of bounds long on the court attempt from the left side off the swing of Jolie Scouten. Right now the Warriors on a roll. A 2-point lead, leading 5-3 for the last 4 points. A great serve, but a good pass this time by Scouten. Middle attack by Ritzma, looping shot, and that one catches the outside part of the line over by the right corner. Little cut shot there by Ritzma to get the point for the Crusaders. Back within 1 now, trailing 5-4 at the New Medical Center and Waupun Chiropractic scoreboard. Normally we're sitting down in the corner, but now we got us on top of the bleachers with our video crew here, and a double contact going to be called on Cameron Haas, their center. Kind of had a ball hit right directly, kind of toward her face, and all she had to do is kind of put her hands up and call for a double contact. Crusaders have now tied it up at 5 apiece. Ritzma with another serve. Haas gets it, bumps it over to the left side, and good job by Vanderwerf to go in, step in, and kept the ball alive. Then she taps it over. Everybody else was giving up on it, and she dives up by the net and pops it over with one arm. Then the block goes up for the Crusaders. Back over on the Warriors side. Swing from the left side by Wright. And black back down by number 11, Ada Smith. Man, what a couple of great hustle hits by Caitlin Vanderwerf. Kept the ball alive to start with, and then everybody else was getting ready to play the next point. She dives with one arm right up in the net, pops it over. There's some great blocking on the right side of the Crusaders. They really worked for that point, but they got it. They lead now 6-5. Outside attack now by Wright, and a good job going down the line. Gets it right past the outstretched arms of Ada Smith. And a point going to the Warriors, and we're tied up again. This time that's 6 apiece. Back to serve now is Anna Giannopoulos. right-hander hits it right into the middle of the net, and that point goes to the Crusaders now with a 7-6 lead. We'll have more volleyball for you coming up next week, Monday. I'll be over in Randolph to bring you the Randolph Lady Rockets taking on always a good rivalry between them and Cambria Friesland. Just 5 miles apart, just up the road on Highway P. Right into Cambria. They've got a nice rivalry over the years in many sports. Wallace having a little trouble handling it. Now they'll have to bump it over for the Warriors on the third hit. Pass up the front row over to Vanderwerf. Going to go left side over to Scout, and then kind of the back pedal and puts it over. And now Wallace from the back row will just bump it over from there. Vanderwerf backs up over on the right side to Bartlett, and she finds it inbound. Kind of coming down. The timing really wasn't there on that slide over on the right side. Kind of reached out for it, went cross court, back left court with it, and puts it right in the back left corner. Perfect spot. Clearly that was in, and a point going to the Crusaders. Good job by Bartlett to do the most with that set that was a little bit over her head. Served now by Ada Smith. Good pass over to the center, left side attack. Cross court by Wright, dug out by the Crusaders. Nice low set. Good job getting the ball over to Scout, and that's what you call playing fast, and you don't put a lot of air underneath your sets over there. Good timing between the left side hitter for the Crusaders, and nice serve by the sophomore, Caitlin Vanderwerf. Meets with the serve, dug out. They get the ball over to Haas, left side attack. Again over on that left side by Stella Wright, but she pounds it into the net. That's the point for the Crusaders. Now leading 10-6 here in set number 2 after winning the first set by a score of 25-12. Now, 7:30 start on that game. That'll be coming up on Monday night over at Randolph against the Hilltoppers with Cambria Friesland. Wright will just bump it over from mid-court on the third hit, and Kickers had trouble really taking advantage. Haas is going to give it over to their libero Wallace, and then Wright gets it over on the left side. Not a bad set, actually, by their libero, but it was hit out of bounds by Stella Wright. And a point going to the Crusaders, now opening up a 5-point lead, leading 11-6. Don't forget, if you're listening to the game on the radio, why don't you grab the computer and log into radioplusinfo.com. We've got it streaming live, a couple of cameras here, a whole camera crew, 4 people, along with me doing the radio stuff. You can hear my broadcast on there too, so give it a view. Pretty good responsive, like I said, on the streaming video. Middle attack now pushed over by Mariash. Cross court, Haas pushes it up. And looks like Haas is going to get it back over on the right side. The block gets up and kept alive by Wright. Looks like it's going to go out of bounds, but she punched it, kept it alive. And blocked back over on the Crusader side. And a nice job getting up, but this might be out of bounds on the swing by Bartlett. Did a good job getting a ball that was just sitting right above the net, and she had the right thought. She just missed by a little bit. Smashed it down to the left side, but a little bit wide. Checking in now for the Crusaders is Olivia Reese, 5'7" junior. Go along the back row. Back to serve for the Warriors is Wright. Nice hard serve off the arms of the Crusaders, and shoots off to the right. No one can get to it. Serve that can lead to some pretty good offense and some points. The team's out of their systems. They can't get a good pass. Another serve for Stella Wright. Kept alive by Bawalda, but that one chased to the back line. It's going to have to be bumped over on the third hit. Haas chases down the pass. Going to go left side over to Ralston, and kind of back pedals and hits it into the net. That's their classic left side hitter over there, but hits into the net. That's the point for the Crusaders, leading now 12-8 at the New Medical Center scoreboard. Goalie Scout now with the serve. Ralston passes it up. Haas chases and back over to Ralston. Kind of a flat-footed shot inside the 10-foot line, kept alive by the Crusaders. Passed over on the second hit. Ralston will bump over to Haas and she'll just push it. And that is kept alive over the Crusader side, pushed over by Vanderwerf. Haas steps in again to get it. She's going to get a set back over on the right side, get her chance at swinging off the ceiling, off the arms of Scout, and it was bumped over by Bartlett. Ralston again with another opportunity on the left side, dug out by Scouten. Vanderwerf left side, a swing now by Bawalda off the arms of Wright and off her arms and out of bounds deep. Good job by both teams to keep that ball alive. They just finally get that good pass, and Bawalda puts it away from the left side for the kill. 13-8 now, the lead for the host Crusaders here at Central Wisconsin Christian School. Scouten with another serve, and that one's going to be about 1.5 feet long with a jump serve. Point going to the Warriors. And don't forget, we'll have some more Central Wisconsin Christian sports coming up next week, Thursday, at 6 o'clock right here at Mulder Field in Waupun, and the Crusaders will be taking on St. Lawrence Seminary in that match. Greg Zonneveld on the call. 6 o'clock coming up next week, Thursday. I'll tap back over on the Crusader side. Vanderwerf just bumps it over his shoulder. Back row attack by Scout and is dug out by Deering. Haas sets the ball in the middle over to Zalicki, dug out by the Crusaders. Bartlett up by the net, just taps it over on the third hit to keep the ball alive. Zalicki again with the ball. Bumps it over. Dump shot on the second hit, and a good time to use that as everybody's waiting for that set on the left side possibly. And a good job by the setter, Caitlin Vanderwerf, to disguise it last second. Dumps it over right on the 10-foot line, and the point going to the Crusaders, leading now 14-9. Risma checks in the match. Rachel Greaves sitting down. And back to serve for the Crusaders is Abby Bartlett. Ball passed over to Haas in the front row, tight to the net. Wiki off the block, and a punch to get alive by Bawalda, and pushed over finally by Vanderwerf. Wiki again just bumps it over, and we got a lift called on one of the two Crusader players. Could have been Olivia Reese, could have been Caitlin Vanderwerf, but a lift nonetheless on the Crusaders, giving a point to the Warriors, now trailing 14-10 to the Crusaders. Back to serve. Best server on the team, Cameron Haas. Hard, low line driver. That one shanks off the arm of Jolie Scout to the back row, shoots off to the right into the bleachers. That's the point for the Crusaders. Dangerous server, and she can run some points off. Keep her team close. Trailing by 3 now. The Crusaders 14-11 here in set number 2. Another serve for Cameron Haas. Another one passed over. Well, actually, the second hit kind of came back off the top of the net, came back over on the Crusader side, and a nice swing up of the net as the ball is barely cleared and put away by Alex Zalicki. Good job. Went on top of the net and put it away in Crusaders' pay. A weird shot. The first hit off the top of the net came back over the Crusaders' side. And over serve. That one a little bit too strong by Cameron Haas. Misses by a few feet out of bounds deep. Did get her team a little closer. Crusaders leading now 15-12. Back to serve is Caitlin Vanderwerf, the sophomore. Pass up front to from Wallace up to Haas. Left side swing by Giannopoulos. Dug out by the Crusaders and right by the net. Good swing by Elise Risma, but kept alive. And Ralston takes a swing from the left side. Kind of flat-footed shot. Catches the tape, and that falls right in front of Jolie Scouten. Nice job there by their left side hitter, Grace Ralston. Put one away. The team back within 2. It's 15-13 in favor of the Crusaders. Ralston back to serve. A pass attempt, kind of stepping in front of Bartlett, was Shelby Bawalda. Kind of reached right in front of her, off to her side, just kind of shanked off her arms and right to the floor. Now, just a 1-point lead for the Crusaders. 15-14 here in set number 2. Serve for Grace Ralston, and she's going to miss wide left. Things getting a little tight here. The gym has Central Wisconsin Christian. The Crusaders only with a 2-point lead, leading 16-14 on your new medical center scoreboard. Shelby Bawalda with the serve. Good pass by Wallace, and taking over the second hit by Haas, dug out by the Crusaders. Jolie Scouten has to go across the net, just bumps it over on the third hit. Back set to Giannopoulos over the right side. And that one does not clear the net. And that is a point for the Crusaders. 17-14 the lead now for Central Wisconsin Christian. And another serve for Shelby Bawalda. A nice one in that first set. Brings up about 10 points in a row for serve. Another one is barely clearing the net. She's done that quite a few times in this match. Giving fist to the freshman libero back there, Katie Wallace. Good diving attempt to try to keep it alive, but shanks off her arm to the right. Got a point going to the Crusaders. Back up by 4, leading 18-14. Bawalda with another serve. Wallace with a good pass this time over to Haas. Goes to Zalicki and over the top of the block. Kept alive. A push over on the left side. And a nice swing by Bawalda over there. Who's scouting? Now Scouten actually put it away off the top of the net and down, and another point for the Crusaders, now leading 19-14. And a timeout on the court. I'll be back in just 1 minute with more Crusader volleyball on your source for sports.
Team on top of the game for screen printing, custom awards, signage, and embroidery is Hoppers. Hoppers Silk Screen and All-Star Trophy, located in the heart of Fond du Lac, can custom print to 1 shirt or 1,000. Pick from Under Armour, Gildan, Nike, and more. Choose your school for a custom one-of-a-kind look. Need banners, signage, or vehicle wrap? The team at Hoppers does it all. Hoppers Silk Screen and All-Star Trophy at the corner of Main and Merrill, Fond du Lac. Get more now at hopperware.com. That's hopperware.com.
Jackson Call Insurance. Sharing knowledge and building trust since 1956. That's just not a tagline. That's a standard we use in every customer interaction. I'm Mitch Call. Insurance is nothing more than a piece of paper and a promise. At Jackson Call, we make sure that piece of paper covers your exposures, and the promise is we'll always be there when you need us. At Jackson Call, our solemn oath is simple. At all times, we will provide you with the most comprehensive and competitive product.
The Crusaders now leading 19-14 here in set number 2 and 1-0 in sets in the match so far. Shelby Bawalda in her familiar spot, back serving some points for the Crusaders. That one again dies just over the net, and Wallace just hits it over on the first hit. Going to go left side over to Scout and takes a big swing, but misses deep by quite a bit. She always gets her money's worth. She's not going to go up there and just tap a lot of balls over. When Jolie goes up there, she pounds it. And that one just about 10 feet too long, but still. Why not? You came up by 5 points at the time. Keep it all you got. Wallace with a serve. Bartlett passes it up. Vanderwerf goes right side with it over to Smith, and off the block, off the arms of Stella Wright. And then on the floor, point for the Crusaders. Nice swing from the right side, I should say, by Ada Smith. Puts the team back up by 5, 20-15. Risma with the serve. Get it up over to Haas. Left side attack now by Wright. Goes cross court. It's dug out by Bawalda. Vanderwerf going left side over to Scout and tries to go down the line with a push shot. It pulls a little to her left and out of bounds. And that is a point for Valley Christian. They're back within 4, 20-16. Richmond will sit down. Now for the Crusaders. And back to serve for the Warriors is Anna Giannopoulos. Goes middle back, and that's kind of a chunk shot there by Jolie Scout. Going to get called for the lift in the middle back row. More like a double contact. He's going to lift, but illegal hit nonetheless. Warriors back within 3 now, 20-17. Giannopoulos with another serve. Scout with a good pass this time to Vanderwerf. Middle attack by Bartlett is dug out by Ralston. Oscar's to go left side over to right, and just kind of an awkward swing. I don't know if she kind of stumbled a little bit there and walking off maybe her ankle or something a little bit threw her off. That's a point for the Crusaders, now leading 21-17, 4 points away from taking a 2-0 lead here in this best-of-5 match between the conference foes. Meets with a serve, catches the tape, hit right over on the first hit, over to the Crusaders, and then tapped over by Vanderwerf on the second hit, but right back over to the Crusaders. Left side attack now by Scout and going down the line. And she's going to miss by a few feet deep. The point for the Warriors, not going away. They're back within 3, 21-18 in favor of Central Wisconsin Christian on your new Medical Center scoreboard. Bringing you the game from the National Exchange Bank and Trust broadcast booth. The northeast side of the gym up in the top bleacher. No table here. Vanderwerf with a good pass. Our Bartlett takes it over and finds almost the exact middle of the court. Off her hands, gets the kill, and a point for the Crusaders. Back up by 4, 22-18. Jolie Scout now back to serve for the Crusaders. Goes with a jump serve. Spinning that at all. Ralston, a good pass over to Haas, takes it over second hit. Chasing up the court is Bowalda. Was going to take a swing and decides to kind of stop it. She thought she was getting close to running into one of her coaches, Abby Bree over there. And he says, come on, I'll catch you. Keep on coming and get that back on the court. Once they hit the floor, that's the point now for the Warriors. They're back within 3, 22-19 here in set number 2. The serve for the Warriors now is Mariash and hits the ball right into the net. Something you don't want to do when the team's down by a couple and getting close to the end of the game, or I should say set. And the service there gives a point to the Crusaders, now leading 23-19. And back to serve for CWC is Abby Bartlett. Prisma checks back into the game now for the Crusaders. Right, taps it over, hits it over on the first hit. Vanderwerf a little low set over to Elise Ritzma. And that was kept alive by the Warriors, and catches the back of the line off the arms of Haas. Nice job. They had a nice swing by Ritzma there. Looked like she was going to put the ball away, but the Crusaders stuck with it, hit into the net, and popped over by Haas. Right in the back side of the back line, and she gets the point for the Warriors. 23-20 now, the lead for the Crusaders here in set number 2. And their best server back to serve right now, Cameron Haas. She could run a few off. That'll give the Warriors an opportunity to see if they can steal one here from the Crusaders. High up the arm of Scout, but a good pass over to Vanderwerf. Zwicky taps it back over the Crusader side. Ritzma, Haas keeps it alive and reaching over and putting it down is Elise Ritzma. Right over the top of the net and is directed back down to the floor on an overpass. And now the Crusaders sitting at set number 2 point, leading 24-20. We have Caitlin Vanderwerf back to serve for the second set for the Crusaders. Meese checks back in the ball game for the Crusaders. And here's the serve from Vanderwerf. Wallace bumps her right over her head in the back throw. It's going to be tight to the net. Zwicky goes up against the double block and then right back at her and hits it into the net on the floor. And a point going to the Crusaders. They hang on and win set number 2, 25-20, and now lead 2-0 here in the match. And I'll be back in 2.5 minutes with set number 3, live from Central Wisconsin Christian School on your source for sports.
Jackson.
Direct entry, 95% NCLEX RN pass rate. Hours of faculty-led clinical and high-fidelity simulation experiences. It's what the Marian University Bachelor of Science in Nursing program is built on, and it's what best prepares our students to face the ever-changing healthcare landscape. Educating and training the area's best nurses for more than a century, you can set yourself up to work in a variety of professional healthcare settings. Apply for fall at marianuniversity.edu/apply.
Got an extremely strong board of directors that sets the tone for the organization as well as independent ownership. Very unique for an organization of our size to really be owned by one family.
As the bank grew, our lending limits grew, and so we were able to address a lot of the needs of companies, newer companies. I would say we focused more on smaller family-owned businesses at that time. I would say a strong balance sheet benefits everyone, and it's not just in a bank. It's what we've recommended customers have. I think if everyone has that philosophy, they'll endure over a longer period of time. We have to have the foresight to get our customers through tough times, and all of these things are challenging because we're able to do it.
We have a strong commitment to the success of our customers and build long-term relationships. We earn our customers' trust each and every day. It is our culture, and it starts at the top with strong leadership.
So we at National Exchange Bank and Trust have the size to be able to serve all of the needs of our customers. It's very unique to be able to do that, yet maintain the community bank image and culture.
Well, I think we're strong. We're going to be around, always have been.
LASIK, it's incredible. It's life-changing. Tired of glasses and contacts? Have LASIK and trust your eyes to the very best. For a free consultation, call Optivision at 1-800-20-HAPPY. It's 2020, the perfect year to have LASIK.
Nachos come with rules. Like, don't take the fully loaded chips.
Welcome back to Central Wisconsin Christian School. The Crusaders now open up a 2-0 lead in sets here in the match, winning the first set 25-12, and the second set winning that 25-20. The Warriors definitely settled down a little bit, and they got some better passing in that second set, and kind of hung in there a little bit. Got close a few times when you got later in that second set, but nice job again by the Crusaders to fight them off, and some nice hustle plays out there, especially early in that second set by Caitlin Vanderwerf, the sophomore setter. Does a great job keeping some balls alive that a lot of people have given up on that point already, and still getting the point for the Crusaders, and some more good serving by many of the Crusaders, including, again, Shelby Bowalder having a great night, serving that service line for Central Wisconsin Christian. Players are back on the court. Thanks some of our sponsors that are here to support Central Wisconsin Athletics, including a new medical center, our scoreboard sponsor, National Exchange Bank and Trust, broadcast booth sponsor. We also have Wapani Equipment Company, Home and Auto Sales, Benz Automotive, Dentistry of Wisconsin, Third Gold Bank, American Family Insurance Agent Christine File, WDS Construction, W&D Novice, and Wapan Higley Wiggly. Sponsors making our broadcast possible tonight, and glad to have the stream team here. RadioPlusInfo.com. If you want to watch this third set and you haven't logged on yet, just go to RadioPlusInfo.com. You'll be able to watch the match here in this third set. Also hear my call of the third set, if I'm lying to you or not. I'll tell you right now, Crusaders, for that young team out there, pretty scrappy players out there. Vanderwerf gets the first pass of the second set. Nice job by Bowalder to get the ball out. He got to pop the ball back up, actually cleared, but must have had a foot over the middle line right underneath the net. He could call for that. And first point going to the Warriors of Valley Christian. Enrollment of only 76 over in Oshkosh for Valley Christian. Back to third was Cameron Haas, but he hit right into the middle of the net. We are tied up at one apiece. Enrollment for Central Wisconsin Christian, 101. Shelby Bowalder back to serve, where she's pretty good here so far. Wallace off her arm. And poor libero Katie Wallace getting the brunt of those good serves. Always in that middle back at that time. That one shot off her arm and went up towards the net, but shot off to the right. No one could get to it. The point going to the Crusaders. Now leading 2-1. Bowalder's next serve. Wallace with a good pass this time. Haas chases it down, goes left side over to Giannopoulos. Kept alive by Bowalder. Good pass to Vanderwerf, and left side attack by Jolie Scout, and is off the block and kept alive. Vanderwerf takes it over on the second hit, and then a few players had a hand on it. Haas there for a while, Zalecki, and it hits the floor and a point going to the Crusaders. Nice job. I can see one thing they've really worked on since I remember them playing last year is working on those low sets. Gives the other team a lot less time. This one goes in the net and is served by Shelby Bowalder, but they've really been, staying away from those big looping sets and just those sets along the net to the middle hitters from Vanderwerf or way out to the left side. They've really worked on that. That's come up big a couple times. Pretty impressive. Served by Ralston. Ball pass to the Vanderwerf for the chase it across court, then tapped over on the third hit by Madison Zolke. Got a whistle on the court, and I think a double contact is going to be called on the Warriors, giving the point to the Crusaders, now leading 4-2. Bartlett ready to check back in for the Crusaders, and sitting down will be Megan Greenfield. Bartlett goes to her middle hitter's duties across that front row. Lease now with the serve. Ralston taps it up. It goes over to Scouten on the Crusader side. Middle attack by Bartlett. Goes off to her right and hammers one down about 15 feet off the net. Over by the right sideline. Impressive swing. The middle hitter for the Crusaders, Abby Bartlett. Just a kill for her team. Puts them up by 3, 5-2. They win this one the match over. So we'll win 3-0. Up 2-0 right now. Haas gets the pass, going to go left side over to the right. The block is up, and that one catches the end. Kind of maybe just been clear the net over there by the swing by their left side hitter. Great, I should say, Stella Wright. East with another serve for the Crusaders, leading now 6-2. Wallace kind of just dived right in front of her, and last second tried to step up as the ball died in front of her and got a hand on it. Just couldn't control it, and the point going with the Crusaders, leading 7-2. East continues the serve, this time a high looping serve. Haas gets it. Back sets right side over to Giannopoulos. Cross court shot. He is dug out by Zolke. Zolke gets it right back on the right side. Nice job by Ralston to keep the ball alive. Haas with a nice job by the net to keep it alive for the Warriors. Pops it up, but then it gets tapped over, but out of bounds off the hands of the Warriors, and that is a point for the Crusaders. A couple nice saves by both teams on that last exchange. Crusaders get the point, leading now 8-2. Smith continues to serve, and that catches the back of the line. Just getting out of the way last second was Katie Wallace, and they say that caught the back of the line. Point going to the Crusaders. Timeout on the court. Back in a minute with more Crusader Volleyball on your source for sports.
And Steve is with us here. He's a patient at New Medical Center of Waupun. Steve, explain what you had done at New Medical Center.
Well, at New Medical Center, I had a stem cell shot in my left knee, and from then on, it's just been great all the way. I know several people that have had them. I've talked with them, and everybody's happy. I could hardly walk before. Now I can, as far as my knees go and everything, everything's good. You know, you do have a little therapy afterwards, but that's just because you've been walking so goofy for so long. You need to, get your stuff straightened out. But as far as the pain, I was doing very well. I love the staff at the Medical Center.
Get a chance to enjoy the game.
Friendly,
live on
accommodating. I would recommend the Medical Center to anyone that has any problems, back, knees, anything like that, the joints or anything, to go there, because it can help you pain-free. I mean, the shot is painless, just kind of routine.
Call New Medical Center of Waupun today, 324-9899.
Good chimps on the quality of the equipment they got. Great equipment, a good crew of guys and gals to take care of the cameras and bringing you the great pictures that you're seeing on the internet right now. Served by Smith after that timeout, and point going to the Warriors as that one kind of hooks out of bounds over on the left side. Point for the Warriors, but they're trailing now to the Crusaders by a score of 9-3 on your New Medical Center scoreboard. Bringing you the game for the National Exchange Bank and Trust broadcast booth. This is the top row here at the gym in Waupun at Central Wisconsin Christian. Big swing on the right side, catching a few blockers, but powers past him off the swing by Madison Zolke. And she'll get the kill from the right side. Figures now open up a 7-point lead, 10-3. She's going to check out after getting the kill, and coming in to serve will be Jenna Hiringa. 5'7" seniors, one of the 5 seniors honored tonight here at Central Wisconsin Christian School. And nice serve by Jenna. That one dives right in front of Grace Ralston. One of those, it seems like they've got one of those breaking pitches. When it gets close to the plate or close to the player here in volleyball, it's going to dive right in front of them. Those are hard to do it. Ralston, good pass to Haas this time. Going to go over the left side over to right. Rolls it over, then it rolls off the fingertips of Belvry in the middle back. 11-4 the lead now for the Crusaders here in set number 3, leading this match 2-0. We'll wrap it up in 3. This is the only game that we bring you this week. Next week we've got 3 contests. Overpass by the Crusaders, and the Warriors make him pay. Waiting for it. That time was Cameron Hott. Goes up above the net and directs to the ground off to her right. She gets the kill. Gives the team the ball back, and back within 6. 11-5 the lead for the Crusaders. Then a serve right into the net by Anna Giannopoulos. Turning in favor, and the Crusaders get the point. Back up by 7, 12-5. Talk about those games we're going to be doing next week. 3 of them, Monday, Thursday, and Friday. On Monday, girls volleyball at 7:30 over at Randolph High School as they take on the Hilltoppers of Cambria Friesland. I'll have that for you. A jump serve by Jolie Scouten in the net, and just kind of giving up points right now to each other. Point going to the Warriors, and a 6-point lead for the Crusaders, leading 12-6. And next week, Thursday, we've got Greg Zonefeld on the call for boys soccer here at Mulder Field. They take on St. Lawrence Seminary. That one begins at 6 o'clock. You hear that right here on the radio station. All bumped over by the Warriors. Ball passed over to Vanderwerf. Middle attack by Bartlett, and goes up and hammers it to the back left corner for a point for the Crusaders. Good job. A little under timing early with Bartlett up there. Kind of was coming down every time the ball was set to her. That time she gets over at the top of it. He just hammers it down to the left back corner. 13-6 now, the lead for the Crusaders. Kind of exchanging points right now with the Warriors. And a hard, low line driving serve goes off the arms of Katie Wallace, the libero for the Warriors. And out of bounds, deep. Point to the Crusaders now up 14-6. The serve for Abby Bartlett. A little bit of back left corner, but a little bit too much on that one by a couple of feet. That is a point for the Warriors. Coming in the game now, Megan Greenfield checking in for Bartlett. Take a break as she rotates to the back. And back to serve now for Valley Christian is Josie Kia. 14-7 the lead for the Crusaders here in the kickoff. Actually, this will play. This is the first night you can actually play a contest here was this tonight after a few weeks of having the mandatory practices. This is the first match for both of these teams. 15-7 after the didn't even make it up to the net by Matthias. And point going to the Crusaders. Wallace with her pass over to Ralston left side, and Haas tries to roll it over, but into the net on the third hit from the right side. 16-7, almost a 10-point lead here for the Crusaders, leading by 9. Going deeper into this third set. We have a timeout on the court by the Warriors, and we'll be back in 1 minute with more girls volleyball action live from Central Wisconsin Christian School on your source in sports.
How do we explain our psychology majors having a 93% job placement rate after graduation? Marian University helps students start building a resume right away through direct professional work experience and guidance from faculty, those who have become experts in the field. Our curriculum prepares students to get the position they desire. Not to mention, more than half our graduates go on to complete a master's program within 2 years. Visit www.marianuniversity.edu/apply today and start building your resume.
And Steve is with us here. He's a patient at New Medical Center of Waupun. Steve, explain what you had done at New Medical Center.
Well, at New Medical Center, I had a stem cell shot in my left knee, and from then on, it's just been great all the way. I know several people that have had them. I've talked to them, and everybody's happy. I could hardly walk before, but now I can. As far as my knees go and everything, everything's good. You know, you do have a little therapy afterwards, but that's just because you've been walking so goofy for so long.
Getting it back out to us here in Waupun at Central Wisconsin.
As far as the pain, I was doing very well.
I love
the staff at the medical center. Everyone's friendly, accommodating. I would recommend New Medical Center to anyone that has any problems, back, knees,
now a 10-point lead for the Crusaders.
The joints or anything to go there because it can help you pain-free. I mean, the shot is painless, just kind of routine.
Call New Medical Center of Waupun today, 324-9899.
That direction with our stream team. We're so lucky to have them. Chance to watch any of those. Check out our complete schedule of all of our games that we're going to be broadcasting. And also streaming live on AM1170radio.com or radioplusinfo.com. And hard low line drive by the Crusaders, and they finally get over the Warriors, go on the third hit, just tapping it over. Zlicki up for the net, pushes it over, back over to Vanderwerf. Left side attack now by Bowalda, then off the arms of Deering of the Warriors and out of bounds deep. Good job getting that ball. A nice pass over to Vanderwerf to get that nice set over to Shelby Bowalda. Raiders now leading 19-7. Vanderwerf with the serve. That's up front. Haas chases it down. Going to go to Ralston on the left side. Goes cross court. Hit the line by Scout. Middle attack now by Smith's dugout. And couple players as the ball was hit up towards the ceiling, and then a couple players kind of looking at each other. You take it, now you take it, and then they watch it hit the ground. That's the point for the Crusaders, 20-7. Lead now for Central Wisconsin Christian, running away with set number 3 and looking to end this in 3 here tonight. A little too long on the next serve by Caitlin Vanderwerf. Point going to the Warriors, but still a comfortable 12-point lead by the Crusaders, 5 points away from a sweep here against the Warriors. And Giannopoulos checking in the game now for the Warriors, and sitting down will be Allison Deering. Back to serve is Cameron Haas for the Warriors. Vanderwerf chases the ball back court, and a swing on the left side is dug out by the Warriors. Giannopoulos into the block, and kept alive by Zalicki. Haas pushes it off to the left, right by, really off the corner on the right side by the net, and just taps it over the top of the block, and then inside the 10-foot line to get the kill. 20-9 now the lead for the Crusaders on your new Medical Center scoreboard. A shank shot in the back row off the arms of Megan Greenfield, and another point going to the Warriors, putting a few points together, back within 10, 20-10 now in favor of the Crusaders. And Haas catches the bottom of the top tape. That's the point for the Crusaders, leading 21-10. Gotta get that soccer contest coming up next Thursday at 6 o'clock at Mulder Field against St. Lawrence Seminary, and then, of course, next week we'll be bringing you Randolph football, the first of 7 games for Randolph football. Randy Armgren and myself will be calling most of those. That one starts at 7 o'clock over in Randolph against Johnson Creek. Shot from the left side, kind of backpedaling off the court on the left side by Jolie Scout, but puts enough on it to go off the arms of one of the Warrior players, then out of bounds. Point going to Central Wisconsin Christian. Shelby Bawalda back now to serve for the Crusaders. And hits it over towards the left side. Ralston gets it over to Haas. He gets passed over by Zalicki, and is going to pull it a little bit wide left. And a point going to the Crusaders, leading now 23-10, just 2 points away from a match sweep here. 3-0. A nice start to the season for Central Wisconsin Christian. Hard low line drive serve by Bawalda, who's done that numerous times. And just barely clears the net and gets herself an ace serve. And gets her team at match point, leading 24-10. Bawalda trying to close it out. Next serve goes to the back left corner. Ralston keeps it alive. Haas chases it down. Goes left side over to Giannopoulos. Cross court. That is dug out by Scout. And Vanderwerf goes right back to Scout. Hammers it down. And that is it. With authority and a big shot from the left side by Jolie Scout, and a perfect set by Vanderwerf, and is 25-10 in set number 3 in favor of the Central Wisconsin Christian Crusaders, winning this 3-0. They won the first set 25-12. Great serving by Shelby Bawalda. Took them from only up by 3, 11-8 in that first set, then went on a 10-point run off her serve, most of it aces. And then their team was leading 21-8 at that time, and they ended up winning 25-12. In the second set, it was a little bit closer and a little more fight given by the Warriors. The Crusaders win 25-20, but nice hustle plays early in that second set by Caitlin Vanderwerf, and some more good serving by Shelby Bawalda. And more of the same, really. The Crusaders took over and come up with a 25-10 victory in the third set, and everything went right for the Crusaders, and passing problems for the Warriors, but it couldn't have ended better by having Shelby Bawalda back serving at that time. Didn't get the ace, but a nice swing by Jolie Scout to put it down and put it away for the sweep by the Crusaders here tonight at home for the beginning of their 2020 season. So I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed watching this match from Central Wisconsin Christian School. And 3-0, the victory for the Crusaders to start things up. Nice start for them on the season. So I hope you like I said, enjoyed what we had for you on RadioPlusInfo.com, and have yourself an excellent Tuesday night. I'll talk to you tomorrow during my show. The best in the 50s, 60s, and 70s at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on 93.7 FM, AM 1170, and 103.3 FM. Thanks to Keith Heisler, Wheels back at the station. Do a great job back there. Again, talk to you tomorrow.
Baker Cheese, producing award-winning cheese since 1916. Not only can you find fresh Baker cheese at your local grocer, make the short drive to their in-house country cheese store. Over 100 varieties of other cheeses from the best cheesemakers in Wisconsin. Take Highway 23, go south on G 3 miles, and follow the freshness. Visit BakerCheese.com. Baker Cheese, a Wisconsin cheese heritage since 1916.
Dr. Shane Bauer of Bauer Chiropractic for progressive and traditional chiropractic care. If you're in pain, Bauer Chiropractic offers unique ways to provide relief for many types of pain and conditions. New to this area is MLS Class 4 cold laser therapy, which can be very effective with treating many nagging injuries such as plantar fasciitis, tennis elbow, shoulder pain, knee pain, and many others. Pain relief and prevention are 2 reasons to see Dr. Shane Bauer at 355 North Peters Avenue, Fond du Lac, or log on BauerChiroFDL.com.